Welcome to Tech Transformation with CGT and RAS News, where we explore the innovative tech strategies and trends in retail and consumer goods. I'm Lisa Johnston, the editor-in-chief of CGT. In this episode, we're once again on the road, this time recording from the Consumer Goods Sales and Marketing Summit in New York. Now, things might look a little different, they might sound a little different, but we are surrounded by some of the greatest minds in sales and marketing, and we wanted to take the time to talk with them. So I am thrilled today to have with me Mark Edmonson, Chief Marketing Officer of Materne North America with Gogo SqueeZ. So Mark, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Love having you here. Get us started. Tell us just a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Materne.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am currently the Chief Marketing Officer for Materne North America. I have lived and died by being transformational. I started my career off at Procter & Gamble in digital marketing, which was very transformational at that time. Later progressed through marketing ranks, working on some amazing billion-dollar brands like Febreze, Gillette, Old Spice. Later transitioning to an amazing role for the Campbell Soup Company, leading their Goldfish crackers business, which is one of the most iconic kids brands here in the US. There I was focused on, again, digital marketing because they had not really leveraged that channel, but then also unlocking e-commerce for them and growing their e-commerce platform. And that's where I thrived and went on to build their e-commerce for all of the brands for the Campbell Soup Company. Did some roles at Hinkle, spent 3 years there. And now with being at Materne, we just recently were bought out by the Bell Group. So we're part of that beautiful group. A perfect marriage between fruit and dairy. And we're looking to grow this business together. We're focused on the consumer, really diving deeper into understanding the behaviors, because today Gogo SqueeZ is a brand that makes pouch fruit products, but in the future we want to be more than just that form. We want to be able to appeal to more audiences beyond kids. So we're innovating, we're thinking differently. I'm really excited to be part of the company.
I'm glad you brought up the future. We're going to talk a little bit about that, what you have planned. But you came to the Sales and Marketing Summit to talk about consumer loyalty. So I'd like to start us out by getting a better understanding of how does Gogo SqueeZ define consumer loyalty, especially because you don't sell directly to consumers. So how are you measuring it?
Yeah, we measure it every single week, every single month. We look at simple marketing objectives. How many households are we bringing into our franchise? How many people are we retaining that are currently buying our products? And are they buying more? That's a huge indicator that we're driving loyalty, because we have multiple different platforms from fruit. We actually have yogurt in a pouch.
I knew that. I will say we are some loyal consumers in our household. I have an 11-year-old and
that's
long-time
lovely.
users.
Thank you. And that's what we want to be able to do. We want to get more pouches into houses. And in order to be able to do that, you have to have a superior product. We make that mark. But we also have to have a brand that speaks to the consumer, that actually understand what our brand is about. We're here to become a beacon of nurture. A brand that's not only just providing nutrition to consumers, but also a brand that's thinking about how we're fulfilling our obligations within the community, how we're building employees and their lives. So we're much more than just an applesauce. We're looking to be a powerhouse experience for all consumers.
You talk about experience. Retail media is I don't want to call it a buzzword, but it's definitely one of the hottest topics that's been talking about within sales and marketing. So where does that fit within your sales and marketing strategy, especially within consumer experiences?
It's integrated. When I first started at Gogo SqueeZ, we were dabbling in the space. We brought in a performance marketer who sits within brand, and he not only manages shopper media, but he also manages our national campaign. There's no longer this consumer that actually, you recall when brands would create shopper journeys. We would get on a board and said, okay, today the consumer, they'll make their list and then they'll go to the store, or maybe they'll go look at a newspaper. That's no longer the case. The consumer is always on. Shopper journeys are super complex. So by bringing this team together, we now are creating holistic plans. We have our media agency, our national media agency, partnering with our shopper retail team to make sure that we're integrating the plans to surround the consumer with the right message at the right time to get them to convert to our brand.
So I want to talk about social commerce and gaming. And particularly with your company, it's very interesting because your chief consumer is a child.
Yes.
So you don't sell that to them directly, but how do you decide which platforms you're supposed to be on? How are you engaging them through gamification? And how do you know when it's time to try something new since they're pretty fickle, kids are pretty fickle?
Believe it or not, this is one brand where we decide not to engage in marketing to kids under the age of 12.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah, absolutely. We understand the U.S. market. We understand the consumer who is purchasing Gogo SqueeZ. We don't want our consumer to be to think that we're actually trying to engage their kid into consuming our product that they may not find relevant for their kids. The good news is that Gogo SqueeZ is a healthier option than other snacks. But with the pandemic of obesity here in America, we just avoid the topic. But what I will tell you, gamification for our mom target is huge. We know that they want to engage in experiences that get them to think or get them to do things differently. So we are looking into some experiences like that. But yeah, we haven't actually jumped into it fully.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe what you're looking into or
Yeah, absolutely. What we've done from a partnerships perspective is actually making sure that we're getting parents and kids together and creating family moments. As you know, people are on their phone today. They're always constantly looking at it. When kids are trying to engage with their parents, they're not able to get that moment because we're so connected to our phones. So what we're trying to do is get kids and parents out. So we had an amazing partnership with the National Parks Foundation, where we're just bringing families together and getting them out of their house.
That's awesome.
We actually don't want them to sit in front of the TV. We don't want them to sit on video games. Our mission is about getting people healthy, happy, and on an adventure. And the adventure is outside the house.
Let's talk a little bit about data, another big topic at the summit. How are you what are the most important data sources for you and how are you leveraging them?
Absolutely. We're building. And I'm so excited about this journey because we haven't had a chance to start that foundational work as a brand. We were so busy growing and satisfying consumers that we missed that part. So right now, we're actually working on a data strategy to start collecting first-party data. We'll do that through multiple different sources, developing a newsletter, making sure that we're providing consumers with the right information about our product through that newsletter, collecting data there, but then also partnering with other sources. And this is where retail media comes into play, where we can actually partner with some retail media groups to create some wall gardens, to make clean rooms, to make sure that we're keeping the consumer data safe, but actually learning from the data. So we've developed some great partnerships with 8451, KPM, and the Target Rundell, the Target Media Group, just to be able to start testing and learning as it relates to how can we start sharing data to improve our return on it.
I have one final question. I like to give credit where credit is due. So this question idea came from Andy Walter, so your friend and ours. So if you had a genie and they came out of a bottle, they could grant you one wish we could say consumer loyalty, we could say for anything, but if they could grant you one wish, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, that is such an Andy question too. My biggest wish right now is, and it's actually our purpose as a brand, is to become a beacon of nurture. So how can we, as a group of people in this world, come together and become nurturing and making sure that everyone's getting what they need. Not fighting over simple things, but coming to common ground. We've done this before. So how can we get back to that normalcy? So that's my one wish. If it's a data wish, like
I mean, it's our audience. We should probably.
I'm going to
I don't know if you
data.
can follow that great answer with something about technology, but if you have, all right, what's the tech answer?
The tech answer right now, that's even harder. My tech answer would be able to have someone come in and help me develop my MarTech strategy. Actually help me on my journey for MarTech. We have the strategy. Now I need to have a more simplified way to orchestrate the data. I have this partner doing one thing, another partner doing another thing. How can I just get one solution? That's what I'm looking for, and I don't know if I will be able to find it, but that will be my one wish.
That's a good answer. Maybe not quite as important as the first one, but definitely a good answer. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to come on Tech Transformations and to speak at the summit. It's been great having you, and I've loved connecting with you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.